Well, hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Laura Shipman Show. I'm your host, Laura, and you've landed in the perfect spot if you're looking to simplify your content creation and seriously level up your social media game. In today's episode, we're diving into batching made easy so you can crush your 2025 content goals. I'm going to give you a no fail batching system that will keep you organized, consistent, and effective. And trust me, once you start batching your content, you'll wonder how you ever survived without it. So grab a notebook and a pen and let's get to work. Episode 344 starts right now. Well, hey there. Welcome to the Laura Shipman Show. I'm your host, Laura, and I'm here every week to help you create value-driven content quickly and efficiently while focusing on things like digital marketing, social media, productivity, and time management. My goal? To give you the tools to market your business effectively, manage your time, and create real results both in business and beyond. Are you ready to dive in? I know I am. Grab a notebook, a pen, and your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get started. Happy New Year! Are you as excited as I am to start 2025? This year is going to be different. I can just feel it. I really want us, me included, to get a handle on our content and become incredibly consistent. While consistency may seem a little mundane, it truly is where the magic happens. And with that being said, let's be honest for a second. How many of you feel like you're constantly scrambling to get posts up on social media? I mean, maybe you're just tossing out random ideas, just hoping for something that sticks. If you've ever felt like your content strategy is more of a chaotic guessing game than a plan, today's episode is for you. So first, let's just get into it and dive into what exactly batching is and why you should even care about it. Well, batching is simply a content creation strategy where you group similar tasks together and knock them out in a focused time block, right? So think of it like meal prepping, right? But for your content, instead of cooking one meal at a time, you prepare an entire week's worth of meals in one session. Well, when you batch your content, you're doing the same thing. You're creating weeks or even months of posts in just a few focused sessions. And that's why I'm so obsessed with it, because it really does make things go faster. And I've used this content creation method for years, and it helps me manage multiple challenging clients at once. And when you get disciplined with batching, you'll find that it saves you time. So there's no more scrambling to create something new every day. It reduces your stress level, especially when it comes to consistency. When you batch, consistency just becomes automated and automatic. So I love that. And it improves the quality of the content you're putting out there. So when you're not rushed trying to throw something up on a Facebook wall or an Instagram post, your content shines. And I find when I set aside time to batch, I can take my time with the content and make it the very best possible piece of content for my client and their audiences. And I want you to get the same results for your business and your brand. And the fourth thing that batching does is it boosts your creativity. So you get into this flow state when you're creating content, and that creativity just kind of comes, especially when it's focused flow state, like nothing is interrupting you. You've set aside time for you to create this content, and it's amazing what can come out of that. So I promise. Batching is the secret sauce to crushing your 2025 content goals without burning out. And we don't want burnout and we don't want overwhelm. And so that's why I'm going to teach you my batching how to method. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. So, to make this really simple, I broke my batching strategy or method down into 3 different steps. And the first step is identifying your content pillars. So, before you can batch anything, you really need to know what kind of content you're going to create. And that's where these content pillars come into play. So I usually like to say for people to use anywhere between 3 and 5 main themes or content pillars or topics that represent your brand. So a content pillar, and I just said it, is kind of a fancy name for topics or themes that align with your product, your brand, your business. And they become the foundation of everything you post. And when I say everything, I mean including blog posts or email campaigns that you're going to put out there. So this just doesn't apply only to social media. It can apply to anywhere in your business that you create content. So once you have your pillars in place, you actually never run out of ideas or never run out of content, right? So if you've never thought about this before and this is something new for you, don't worry, because if you haven't thought about it, we're going to do a little work right now to help you get your content pillars knocked out. So now is the time you grab your notebook and your pen, or even just a piece of paper. And once you've got that in front of you, what I want you to do is divide that page into 3 to 5 sections, and we're going to fill it in as we go along. So before we start filling things in, maybe on a separate sheet of paper, write this down. What do you want to be known for? So if you were out there in the world and your business and your brand is out there, what is it that you want your brand or your business name to be known for? When somebody says that name or says your name, what do you want to be known for? For me, it might be I want people to know me for social media tips, for business mindset, for time management, maybe for productivity hacks. So list all of those things there. Then the second thing I want you to do is make a list of all those things that you think your audience really needs help with. So if you're a fitness coach, maybe they need help with, coming up with a fitness routine, meal prepping, maybe they need, a food list, all those things that they will need help with or they struggle with. And maybe it's something that they're not even used to practicing. For me, my audience, I know, needs help with coming up with time, right, to create content. They need help with marketing strategies, motivation, time management, just to get it all done. And then the third thing that you want to write down is what makes you unique. Like tell your story. Maybe it's your story that makes you unique, or maybe it's your approach to how you get things done or your expertise. So, all of those things that you just listed out, those are your content pillars. Now, go over to the other sheet of paper I told you to pull out, and I told you to put 5 different sections on that piece of paper. These are your pillars, right? So your first pillar is what you want to be known for. Your second one is what does your audience need help with? The third one is what makes you unique. Now, I told you should have between 3 and 5 because there may be other parts of your business that I don't know about that are really important to you for a content pillar. So think about what those may be. And the reason why I limit it to 5 is because if you do more than that, your message becomes diluted and then people don't really know you for anything, right? So think of what those 3 to 5 things are. And I'll give you an example. For a fitness coach, the pillars might end up being you're known for healthy recipes, quick workouts, motivation and mindset, and client success stories. Those are the 4 pillars that you really want to focus on. And then you want your audience to know what to expect from you. And those 4 things make it really easy for your audience to know. So go ahead, put me on pause and think about this for a minute. What is it that you want to embrace in 2025? What is it that is the foundation of your business? And write those out. Okay, now that we're clear on what our pillars are, this is where it gets fun and this is where the planning comes in. The next step number 2, is we're going to plan your promotional posts. So before we even get started with planning promotional posts, you might want to go over to Google and print out some Q1 blank calendars from the internet month by month. These blank calendars are going to help you visualize how your content plan is going to all come together. Okay. So you can put me on pause and go do that quickly and then come back to me. So, what are promotional posts? Well, these are the posts that directly promote your products. So, we don't always want to be talking about selling, but we do want to make sure we do sell, because if we don't, we're not going to get anywhere in our business, right? So we can't just keep constantly selling. Instead, what we need to do is we need to create promotional posts that are strategic and balanced. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, I suggest aiming for the 80/20 rule. And what that rule states is 80% of the content that you put out there is going to be value driven. So it's going to be stuff like tips, advice, stories, and then the remaining 20% is going to be promotional content. So that's going to look like offers, sales launches, and things like that. Here's a little pro tip for you. When you're batching, plan your promotions first. What are you launching or selling in 2025? Mark those key dates on the calendars that we just printed out. Then, what you're going to do is create content that leads up to those promotions. So, for example, if you're launching a new course in March, your January and February content should educate, inspire, and prepare your audience for that launch. Like get them excited and anticipating that something big is coming later on. And what this all boils down to is you're planning your promotions in advance, meaning that you're not scrambling to sell at the last minute either, right? How many times have you felt that pressure of needing to get content out there to sell your latest course or, an ebook or some sort of product that you put together? It's stressful, and this helps you plan it out and it helps you be prepared to pivot if you need to change up your selling strategy. Okay, step number 3 is scheduling your batching days. So now that you have your content pillars and promotional plan in place, it's time to batch, the best part of this whole process, right? So, what you're going to do is pick 1 to 2 days each month to batch your content. And these are your content creation days. Block off this time like you would a super important meeting. No distractions, no emails, just you and your content. And so here's what a simple batching schedule might look like. And again, I like to break things down so it's not so overwhelming. So some people do this in 1 day, other people do it in 3 days. I tend to do a 3 day kind of batch plan for my clients, actually a 2 to 3 day. So, day one might look like brainstorming. So, I will put down all my ideas for the month and come up with ideas for each content pillar and make sure everything aligns. And then I let that sit and marinate. And then I come back on day 2, which is creation day. And this is the day that I write the captions, write the content hooks, write or design graphics or film videos or animations. And then the third day is a scheduling day. And this day I upload and schedule everything that I've created to a tool like Metricool or Meta with Facebook. And then by the end of it, you're done and you end up feeling like this productivity superstar and you don't have to think about it again for another several weeks, maybe even up to a month. What I like to do is right now we're at the beginning of January. I've started this process with all of my clients and I will knock this out in a week or two because I've got several clients and I don't have a team behind me. And then I'm done for the month. And then I can focus on my business for the remainder of the month. So when you think in batches, your business begins to run it in batches. And then you tend to get more of all the things you need to get done. Now, sometimes, you might fall off track because things pop up, life happens, but that's the beauty of batching too. You've got all your content done and scheduled. And so when things do pop up, you're not stressed about, oh God, I don't have content going out there because you've already done it. All right, my friends. So it's time to put this all in action, what we've learned here today. And if you're new here, at the end of every episode, I like to include 2 things. One is either a challenge or some sort of homework so that you get the most out of this episode that you just listened to. And 2, I like to provide a helpful Chat GPT prompt to make the homework a little bit easier for you. So here's this week's challenge or homework. I want you to identify your 3 to 5 content pillars and write them down. Make sure you have them somewhere where you see them all the time. So when you're thinking about things, you can say, oh, this falls right into this content pillar, or oh, this one falls right in over here. So you can always be generating new ideas in each of the content pillars. Number 2, I want you to build your promotional calendar for the next 3 months. What are you selling and when? You need to know those 2 things. And number 3, schedule your first batching day. Block off 3 to 4 hours and commit to it. And if you can't block off that much time, do what I do. Break it down into 3 steps and, do that first step for 1 hour and do a brainstorming day, and then schedule a creation day, and then schedule your scheduling day where you schedule everything up to Meta or Metricool or something like that. And then if you need help, ChatGPT is always there for a little extra help with brainstorming, right? Here's a prompt you can use. And if you can't write this prompt down right now, it'll be in the show notes. But this is what it looks like. I have 3 content pillars, and they are give ChatGPT your 3 content pillars, and then ask ChatGPT, give me 10 content ideas for each pillar that would engage my audience and align them with my brand. And you may need to give ChatGPT some context about your business or brand so that gives you accurate information back, especially if you haven't been building a memory with ChatGPT. ChatGPT has this thing called memory where it remembers certain important things about you and your business, and it draws on that memory to create the output. So, anyways, try that and you will have tons of amazing ideas in seconds. It's a lot of fun to see what it comes back with. And it's amazing because you'll be like, oh my God, why didn't I think of this before? So have fun with it, play around with the prompt a little bit, make it your own prompt, make it reflect you, your business, your brand, your personality, all of that stuff so you get the feedback or the output that you really want. All right, my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend, especially one who needs help creating content and staying consistent. And if you're ready to make 2025 your most organized and productive year yet, start batching and let's do this together. All right, until next time, keep showing up, keep shining, and keep crushing those goals. All right, bye for now. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you found this episode helpful and packed with value. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. And hey, if you know someone who could benefit from today's tips, please share the podcast with them. It's the best way to help others and grow our community. Until next time, keep creating, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next episode.